I'm here mainly as a former marketing manager for a fertility clinic, and now a general manager, and partly a little bit as a lecturer as well. So I want to share my experiences with marketing of a fertility clinic, since I've done this in 7 years now. I have some ideas on what I think is effective and what's not so effective. So if you want to tweet me, for example, you can use my Twitter ID, MagnusFS, or email me. I'm very happy to have some interesting discussions with you. My DNA, as I was saying, marketing general manager at Medicus, a lecturer, and also I've done marketing in other industries. This talk is really about attracting patients, not about, for example, educating patients or providing customer service, which is also can be really useful on the web, but it's about getting more patients. And it's about really basic digital tools, and not the fanciest new tools, but it's really what I think is the basic ones, and maybe also the most cost-effective ones. And I want to try to organize this in a very practical framework that you can use when you hear about Twitter, for example, and you can take this and hopefully you can place it in my framework. So I think that successful digital marketing is about, and it's basic branding. It's about building awareness of your clinic. It's about building findability, I chose to call it. And I didn't know that I thought the first talk was about chicken soup, but it turned out to be a lot about search engines and stuff that I'm going to touch about here, so I can be quite short on these ones. But this is being found, and mainly in the search engines. As many of you know, it's really important. And also, I think that building trust online is definitely possible, but trust is, of course, a very complex issue that is not solely built online, but mainly built in a clinic. And you can see also, small detail here, they're all interrelated. And I'll come back to why that is. So the first one, awareness. Awareness is, okay, if we take a look at this watch, think 2 seconds about how much would you be willing to pay for this watch? Do anyone want to give the number, please? Anyone? 10 euros. Okay. How much would you be willing to pay for this watch now? Double price, a little bit more? If this is the original one, of course, and it is. This is not only about awareness, of course, but everybody here knows about Rolex, I guess. And everybody here knows that everybody knows about Rolex. So we can see a really high degree of awareness. And this kind of awareness, this is the reason you're willing to pay is not only about awareness, it's about a rich image and much more. But you can build awareness online and you can do it cost effectively. And the idea about awareness comes actually from psychology. And this term, the mere exposure effect, I read in a book by Daniel Kahneman, which is one of the most famous psychologists in the world today. And to put it in another word, you can say that familiarity breeds liking. And we've already seen that if you're well known, like the Rolex watch, you're probably willing to pay more or to... Okay, I think I have to be on the stage, actually. I think it's... I want to be closer to you, but I can't. I'm sorry. What was it? To get known is very important in order to become chosen. And you can do banner advertising, for example. Here you can see this is parents.com or something. It's an American site. And you can buy this ad here, for example, where you can place the logo of your clinic and the name, and you can communicate some of your ideas or values. You can see another example. This is from a Norwegian site, the Baby World, or Baby Verden in Norwegian. You can buy these ads here. Or this is a local newspaper. You can buy this ad, for example. But I've done some banner advertising, and if you look at the clicks, you don't get so many clicks usually. Of course, it depends on the quality of your ad and where it's placed. But and also it's quite expensive, right? If this is treatmentabroad.com, it's a site in UK. I think it's a very good site actually. You can buy listings there, but you can also buy banner ads, and one of them, not the cheapest banner ad, would cost about 0.025 euros per view. Each time you see the ad, you pay this. And if they have tens of thousands of views every day, you may be there for some weeks, and then you have bought, for example, 500 impressions, and you have to pay 12,500 euros, which is quite expensive, I think. It's a lot of money. And also, if you go to a local newspaper, at least in Norway, quite big one, quite a credible one, you pay a little bit less, around 10,000 euros. Okay, I wouldn't spend too much money on this, but you have alternatives. One of the things that, luckily, one of the other speakers didn't touch upon is the Google Display Network. Here you can see this is actually a UK site, and you can see our ad here in Norwegian, and maybe it doesn't make sense for you, but the reason is that Google knows that I'm from an IP in Norway, reading on a fertility forum, and so they place my ad because I think this could be relevant. So Google Display is real about, you have to design these ads, of course, and you upload them on, it's like the AdWords, do it yourself, or you can hire someone to do it for you, and it doesn't take much time. And it's placed around on a network of websites, thousands of websites, where Google plays the banner ads. And you only pay, of course, if they click. So this means for the price, this is on the backside where I work a little bit with the ads. Here you can see different sites that my ads are shown on, both Norwegian and also foreign sites. For example, ABC News or Daily Mail or soon-to-be-mommy.com in Norwegian, or different sites here. And you can choose, I don't want to be shown here, I don't want to be shown here, I want to be shown here, for example. And this is the price I pay now. I took a campaign for 2 months, and I pay per click, and this is the price per impression when I chose the pay-per-click method. So I pay, when I reach 500 impressions, I most likely would have paid 430 euros. And this is on sites like Daily Mail and Fertility Friends and Norwegian forums, which is more relevant for us, of course. So it's quite a different price. Or I could choose, of course I wouldn't, to pay per view. At Google, they have two payments model, pay-per-view or pay-per-click. But I chose to pay per click. I could choose to pay per view, and then I would pay 3,000 euros, which is still would be 1/3, 1/4 of the other sites. So we're starting to get cost-effective here. I think Google Display is really interesting tool to build the awareness, and don't care about the clicks. Everybody thinks about the clicks, don't care about the clicks. You want to build the awareness of your clinic in the minds of potential clients. This is from my own Facebook page, and here you can see me as one of the best chefs in Piemonte. Very, very nice guy. But this is not the point, actually. The point is these are ads, which is really relevant for me. This is about, it says, if you can read it, customer experience management isn't getting any easier, blah, blah, blah. Of course, I know I'm a marketing lecturer, because maybe I put it on somewhere. And they say Bedriftsforbundet, and I guess the German understand it. It's for people who want to run small or medium-sized businesses, and they want to recruit you for membership, I guess. So these are really relevant, and the reason is, this is on the backside again. And Facebook advertising, not launching a community, what Mr. Pollinger was talking about, this is advertising. It's do-it-yourself as well. Here you can add the title of your ad, the body text, and you can upload the picture, as you would see here, the title, the picture, and the text. And you go to targeting, and here I targeted, for example, Germany, Berlin, and within 80 kilometers, and women between 23 years old and 42 years old, who are newly engaged within 1 year, or newlywed within 1 year. I'm not to the expecting parents or parents all, just the newly. could be interesting targeting group for a fertility clinic, right? Or if you're a premium luxury clinic, maybe you would choose another criteria. You could choose, here it says, still the women in the same age who are interested in luxury goods, personal finance, or are small business owners. Maybe also a relevant segment. You make a different ad for them, just writing a new text, new picture, a new body. So, and from our campaigns there now, I also pay just per click for this. You can choose to pay per impressions, but it's even cheaper. But if I made even better ads, maybe I got more clicks, and then it would be more expensive. If I said really like click here, and if I wanted to go for the clicks, but I chosen to promote pictures and logo and information about the clinic, and it's not about getting people in. It's about building awareness. So these are also very concrete, practical advices, what I think works for a fertility clinic. I think you should do these two things. And then findability, and we already heard a lot, and there's quite an overlap here, but since we are already a little bit late, I think we can be really quick on this one. But this, I think, is crucial for a fertility clinic. And I have also some numbers that may support this. But it's really the art about being found, and mainly about being found in the search engines. Why is that important? This is actually an article in Fertility and Sterility from 2001, 11 years ago. And there was more conclusions, but this is from the result sections. You read a lot of articles, I guess, which has this why and results and takeaway and this kind of small sections. And their conclusions were they were well informed, and the patients, when they wanted to choose a private fertility clinic, they were well informed and investigated market before making the final choice. They collect information from many sources, including new channels such as the internet, which now this is 11 years ago. And up to 1/3 did not consult their doctor. So just went for the clinic. And this is from the European Commission, and it's percentage of the population, not of the internet population, but this is people from 16 to 69 years old, randomly picked among the population, looking for information about goods and services online. Here is Norway with over 80%. You have Germany, you have Denmark there, above 70%. You have United Kingdom, European Union. My point is, and many of you know this already, there's a lot of information search about goods and services and also about health. Here you have of population seeking online information about health. And you see the numbers, and you can also see the growth, of course, which I don't think is really declining. I think it's just increasing. Maybe in some countries where the internet broadband penetration is really high, you can see a decline, or at least stabilizing, but it's really growing. And also at our clinic, we ask, this is some internal numbers, and we ask all our patients, where did you find out about us, and why did you choose us? And this is the first question. Where did you find out about us? This is from August 2011 to March 2012 numbers, 350 patients. And 25% said that we heard about you through friends. And you have the GP as an important player as well. You have the gynecologist or specialist, other places. And you have the internet. And you have 2% of other. And we also asked them to specify a little bit. Okay, you answered the internet. Where, how, why? Can you specify a little bit? 86 out of 113, or 78%, mentions Google, or I just Googled, or I used another search engine in Norway which really picks up the results from Google, or I used this and this term in the search engines. So this tells me that it's worth looking to the search engines. And of course, it could just mean that we are really bad on all the other parts there. and really good hair, or becomes really good because we're really bad hair, but I don't think that's the fact. For those who are not too familiar with what is search engine advertising and optimization, this is Google, this is IVF treatment in Spain, and this is private IVF clinics in Germany, and this is the advertising. Okay, you can buy this, and you can pay per click, and you can set it up yourself or have someone to do it for you. And it's also quite cheap. You pay per click only. And here it's about getting the clicks, because now we're thinking about findability, not awareness. This is findability. And for example, we do a little bit of advertising in the UK as well. We have some UK patients, and we have IVF treatment in Norway. This is the ad, high quality, reasonably priced, and the link. And we add the words here, IVF, for example. And when people in the UK search for IVF, they will find our ad. And we got, for example, 41,000 views. This is maybe a month, 119 clicks. And we paid 90 euros more or less for this. And so this you can buy, and it's not very expensive, and it's really effective. And you can think more long term, or as I really like the first speaker, he says that search engine optimization is not like a marathon, and this is hard work. Here you need an expert to help you to develop your website in such a way that you can get these rankings. You have more than, I saw one Google executive said that they had more than 250 factors affecting these rankings. I can mention 3 of them. It's not a coincidence that the London Women's Clinic is there when you search for Fertility Clinic London, because if you go to their website, you'll see all the yellows on the first page is fertility, right? There's a lot of fertility here. And also there's a lot of London and clinic, London, these words that I used when I searched. Here, Fertility Clinic London, you can really find on this page. But there's much more to it. It's about, for example, or the most important factor is how many are linking to your site. How many are saying that your site is a good site. And also you have other factors, the content, technical stuff, and the links, and many more. So this, I think it's worth investing in, definitely. And we already saw about Google Places, so I don't use much time. The point is the same as the first speaker. If you want to go to Barcelona, Restaurants Barcelona, this is the first page results, and all of this is Google Places listings. And if you search for IVF Clinic London, this is the first page of when I was back in Norway and I searched for IVF Clinic London, this is what I found. And all this is the places, Google Places. And as the other speaker said, it's free to take ownership of this site. You go here, this is let's see, this one, the number 2. And they uploaded a picture, they added some more pictures, they put themselves in a relevant category, added some information, and this is the basic. And then also reviews is important, as the first speaker said, but the thing is that this is free and really quick to do. And funny thing is that Google isn't really consistent, because I saw this was actually one of the examples of a good listing in the first presentation. Create Health Clinic, they don't appear on my list, and they haven't a picture or anything here, and they haven't claimed the ownership. This is Norwegian for, are you the owner? So the point is, this is free, and this is something that everybody should do, because it can make you get up so in the Google. So these are the concrete advice on findability. Run Google AdWords campaigns, invest in search engines, learn to understand how they work, and have someone to help you stay on top. Register your free Google Places account. And what I didn't talk about now, because it's really specific to each country, but you have sites which I think can be relevant, which is called, for example, in the UK, you have treatmentabroad.com or fertilitytreatmentabroad.com. You have think about yellow pages, but a little bit more specific. I think you should carefully consider listings in these kind of sites. They can be cost effective, they can be useful, but you need to consider each one for themselves. And it's about findability, not in the search engines, but findability on the web. And then the last and maybe most complex and difficult issue on the web is building trust. And how do you build trust online? If you look to the Nielsen company, which have surveyed to what extent do you trust the following forms of advertising? This is big survey, 28,000 participants. And they asked them, first, of course, recommendations from people I know, 92% trust. Consumer opinions posted online, 70%. Editorial content, such as newspaper articles, 58%. And actually comparing with editorial content, branded websites, and emails I signed up for. So the implications of this could be, I don't like so much showing other clinics pages which are good and bad, but just to give you an impression, I think this is a good site, and it's really clean, and it has, you know, a high pregnancy rate and rated as excellent by patients, and it's ISO certified and all these things. And you could go there, or maybe you could go, I took away the name of the clinic, but this is someplace in Eastern Europe. It's a fertility clinic. It looks like more like a submarine thing. And just think about the level of trust that you have in the first page compared to the second page. It's really big difference. And it's really important when it comes to patients choosing you or not. This is also some numbers from when we choose when we ask our patients, why did you choose us? And you have a lot of different. I think to really get the answer here, you should do interviews and group discussions. But you can also get some ideas from asking them, because we do ask them a lot of other questions anyway. So what's interesting here is the 18% other. And waiting list is important part here, but what's interesting to see when you ask them to specify is, these are quotes. Seems like a place we can trust. It looks professional. It seems flexible. We think Medicus suits us best. I got a positive impression. This is the one we found online. The gut feeling, the website and the blog. A good website. These are reasons for choosing us. So it's really important part of the decision process, and it's definitely worth investing in. So a good website is a user-friendly website, and there's a lot of research on this as well. I don't think we can cover this really in depth. Here's a list, and I want to stress actually the latest one, which I think could be really relevant for this audience, is that use simple language if you want to be trusted. And this may seem counterintuitive, but actually you have also here research from psychology, where there's a professor at Princeton who researched what he found when he looked for complex language and trust was that the more complex language, the less trust. And the simpler language, the more trust. If you speak in words that people understand, it's more trustful. So, and I think this actually it makes sense if you put your place in your feet in the feet of the patients. I don't know how to say it in English. I'm sorry. So, I think that these are the points. This is the framework that you can use to evaluate all the new ideas, things that you see. Is it building awareness? Is it building findability? Or is it building trust? And what I didn't really go into depth to here, but I want to mention is that you should definitely invest in your website, but also investing in communication, having someone who is really good at helping you find out what is special about your clinic and helping you to communicate it, because you know this yourself, but having someone to to help you with the communication part, I think it's important. And the content part, you are so knowledgeable about your profession, and sharing this content is what patients, we have seen, they search information a lot, and if they find the information that they are looking for, the level of trust is probably increasing. And I think the newsletter idea that also Pollinger was mentioning is very good, but then you need the content. You need to invest in content if you want to have the newsletter, or of course on email. So when you have this, and this I think is the basics, then I saw there's a talk tomorrow morning on Google Analytics. And if you also spend some time analyzing all of these, especially these two is easier to analyze, but there's a lot of information that you will see in the talk tomorrow about Google Analytics that is, it's difficult to improve if you don't measure what you do, and it's the same in the clinic, and it's also on the same on the marketing on the web. So analyze, and if you have these basic things running, then I think you can start talking about digital marketing 2.0 and taking the next step to implement the stuff that Jonathan was talking about, and also to invest even more in developing really interesting content, not just text, but also videos, animations. I think it's really useful. We are launching a lot of animations now. And this can affect both the awareness, the findability, and the trust. But having said that, the most important part, or most important implication, I think, of the social web, as we have seen, which is about people sharing their thoughts, ideas, and experiences with others, the most important thing you can do, the most important implication is providing really great customer service. This is more important than ever. And when you think about marketing, you can talk a lot about Google Display and search, and it's really important. But the most important part is providing great service and great results for patients. And then social media is actually the new thing that, or not actually, it's not very new either, but it's at least the increased use is new. So, and it will help you share the experiences that people have with potential clients also. So that's just has to be my final word, I guess. Thank you very much.